Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Tuesday night, and we begin tonight with Donald Trump Jr.'s own emails. The president's son was told during the campaign that he was about to get dirt on Hillary Clinton, and he was told in those emails that the Russian government was out to help his father win. Don Jr. agreeing to the meeting, a Russian lawyer making the trip to Trump Tower here in New York City. In the email exchange, told to go to the 25th floor. Tonight, reaction has been swift, and the White House issuing a statement from President Trump about his son. ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl leading us off.
It's a startling development. The emails show Donald Trump Jr. was told the Russian government was trying to help his father's campaign and that he was willing, even eager, to accept their help. The emails come from Rob Goldstone, a Trump acquaintance and publicist who was involved in the Miss Universe pageant in Moscow and who has Russian clients with ties to Vladimir Putin. The subject line of the email chain, Russia, Clinton, private and confidential. On June 3, 2016, Goldstone tells Don Jr. that, quote, the Crown Prosecutor of Russia offered to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary and her deals with Russia and would be very useful to your father. This is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but it is part of Russia and its government's support for Mr. Trump. Less than 20 minutes later, Don Jr. responds, "Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that. If it's what you say, I love it, especially later in the summer." 4 days later, on that same chain, Goldstone emails Don Jr. about setting up a meeting in New York with the Russian government attorney who is flying over from Moscow. Don Jr. replies, "Great. It will likely be Paul Manafort, campaign boss, my brother-in-law, and me. 725 Fifth Avenue, 25th floor. That's Trump Tower." The next day, Don Jr. forwards the full email chain to Kushner and Manafort with that same subject line, Russia, Clinton, private and confidential. And the day after that, the meeting takes place inside Trump Tower. Don Jr. says nothing of value came from the meeting and that he released the emails today himself to, quote, be totally transparent. But the New York Times says he only released them after he was told the Times was about to publish the emails. There's no evidence the Russian lawyer actually provided any information on Hillary Clinton and in fact denies doing so. Also unclear whether she had anything to do with the WikiLeaks release of nearly 20,000 DNC emails that happened 6 weeks later. But the meeting appears to contradict the denials from Trump advisors and the president himself that the campaign had any contacts whatsoever with the Putin regime.
Are there any ties between Mr. Trump, you or your campaign, and Putin and his regime?
No, there are not. It's absurd, and there's no basis to it.
Did anyone involved in the Trump campaign have any contact with Russians?
Absolutely not, and I discussed that with the president-elect just last night.
I have nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does.
And just weeks after that Trump Tower meeting, Don Jr. angrily dismissed suggestions the Trump campaign had anything to do with Russia.
It's disgusting. It's so phony. I can't think of bigger lies, but that exactly goes to show you what the DNC and what the Clinton camp will do. They will lie and do anything to win.
Today at the White House, spokeswoman Sarah Huckabee Sanders, in a briefing where cameras were not allowed, read this one-line statement from the president.
My son is a high-quality person, and I applaud his transparency.
She refused to take any further questions on the matter. And tonight, Donald Trump Jr. is speaking out.
In retrospect, I probably would have done things a little differently. Again, this is before the Russia mania. This is before they were building it up in the press. For me, this was opposition research. They had something, maybe concrete evidence to all the stories I'd been hearing about, but they were probably underreported for, years, not just during the campaign. So I think I wanted to hear it out.
While the president normally takes a fight like this head on, we haven't caught a glimpse of him here at the White House for 2 days. Not a single public event on his schedule. I am told behind the closed doors here at the White House, the president is furious, fuming at his aides, frustrated that this Russia story simply will not go away. David?
John Karl leading us off tonight. John, thank you.